Hello, everybody. My name is Greg Lindberg, and my new book is 633 Days Inside, Lessons on Life and Leadership from my time in federal prison. Today, I want to talk about never giving up the fight. It's one of the most important things in prison, to make it out and to have a life after prison. It's one of the most important things in life in general. So never giving up the fight. Very poignant story. One of my fellow inmates stopped by my cube one day and was talking about never giving up the fight. This young man, who's still a young man, was sentenced to a sentence of life in prison, which is effectively 25 years. And he kept fighting. He kept filing appeals, kept fighting his case. And that day he walked by my cube. He was within a couple years of getting out. He was been transferred down from a higher level institution to FPC Montgomery. And that means you're on the way out. If you're at a minimum security camp like FPC Montgomery, you're on the way out if you behave. And he did. And from a life sentence for a young man, 25 years, to getting out in a couple of years, he persisted. Some days you don't feel like fighting. Some days you want to give up the battle. I've talked a lot about fasting in some of my other videos. Fasting is the same way. When you're doing a 48-hour weekly fast or a 90-hour weekly fast or an 18-hour fast, you're tired, you're weak, you're out of energy, you can't sleep, you want to give up the battle. But ultimately, if the battle doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And that's the concept behind hormesis, which I talk about in some of my other videos. You can check them out at greglindberg.com or on other video sites. In this world of hyper-complex laws we live in, it's very easy to trip up a law that you don't know existed and get prosecuted. I've said before, give me 8 months of FBI time and I could prosecute every single American. And on top of that, the legal system is stacked against defendants because it requires lots of dollars, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, to take a federal case to trial. And the federal government, of course, has no monetary constraints. So here you are, Mr. Defendant, Mrs. Defendant, trying to fight someone with unlimited resources, unlimited personnel, and you're trying to front all this freight yourself. Now, fortunately, there's some wonderful federal defenders out there who do an amazing job. And my heart goes out to those guys defending, those people defending inmates. However, most people, they make a decision to stop fighting because they can't afford to fight. And I've seen every trick in the book that the prosecutors try to play to get some of these guys who I was in prison with to stop fighting. They'll go ahead and threaten to indict your family, your loved ones. A number of fellow inmates, quite a few of them, said, I only took a plea. I did nothing wrong. My fellow inmates would tell me, but I got their docket. I agree. But I took a plea because they threatened to indict my children. So these guys are serving 5-7 years in prison because they did it for the family. These are good people. Another case I saw very often was the slow walk to a guilty plea. Here's the favorite. If you guys are in a criminal defense situation, state or federal, be careful of this absolutely tried and true tactic for defense lawyers. Unfortunately, some of them, far too many of them, play this tactic. It's called the slow walk to a guilty plea. The lawyers typically are very good friends with the prosecution, good friends with the judge. They don't want to be contentious and take a case to trial, especially in their home district. That's going to offend some people that they might need later on a case that's not your case. Sorry, my camera's going haywire here. So what happens here in a lot of these cases is something, unfortunately, called the slow walk to a guilty plea, where the lawyer will slow walk you until the exact right opportunistic time to try to get you in a room all by yourself when you're weak and you're tired and you don't want to fight anymore and convince you to take a plea for something you never did. That's why there's a 97% conviction rate in the federal system in this country. A lot of it's the lawyers, the defense lawyers. They don't want to try these cases. First of all, their clients can't afford it, unfortunately. So they're not going to make any real money trying the case. Second of all, they don't want to piss off their judges and their FBI agents and the prosecutors who are all colleagues or former colleagues and friends. They don't want to burn their goodwill on your case. So they walk you into guilty plea. And then you wind up in prison. And the sad fact is about those people that took a plea for something they never did, is they can't contest that case anymore. There's a plea agreement. They're toast. The only thing they can contest is their imprisonment with the BOP, which is the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, the Federal Prison System Management Agency. Their assignment is to house inmates. If you've taken a plea, you can't fight your case anymore. I mean, there's certain ways you can, but it's very difficult. So this is a video. Never stop fighting. Stick with your convictions. Stand your ground. Hold the line. Whatever you believe in, your faith, your belief, and your own innocence, and your own position, and your own idea, whatever it is you're fighting for in life, hold the line. That's everything. Thank you.